Hello, my name is PT Hilton. Today I'm going to be doing the Would You Rather book tag. So I was tagged by the channel I Smell Books. If you don't watch that channel, definitely check it out. She's great. And thank you for tagging me, by the way. This is my first ever book tag. So, BookTube, tell me if I do a good job or if I really mess. I need your approval on this, BookTube. I need you on my side. So I think I can do it. Whew. We'll see what happens here. First question: do you prefer standalone books or trilogy books? I'm going to go with Trilogy because I just like knowing there's more out there. I might not, a lot of times I don't read all the books in the trilogy. Like, great example is Chuck Wendig's Blackbird. There's two other books. I loved the first one. Have not picked up the second two yet. I will eventually. But it's just a nice warm feeling in my heart to know there's more out there, even if I don't get to them. I will, though. I will get to those. Question number 2. Do you prefer books with male or female characters? I've spent probably too much of my life reading about male characters, so I'm going to go with female. I want to read more female characters. I've been doing a better job recently, I think, but yeah, I'm going to go female on that. Barnes & Noble or Amazon, where do you prefer to get your books? I prefer to get my books on Amazon, and the reason why is I don't have any Barnes & Noble around here. I think I do have one, actually, that's like maybe a half hour away. But Books A Million is kind of the big store in this part of the country. Lots of Books A Millions around here. I do buy books from Amazon, so between those two, I'm going to go for Amazon. TV show or movie? Do you prefer a TV show made out of books you like or a movie? I think many readers would prefer TV show, and I'm going to go with TV show as well, because then you get to spend longer with the world, right? You get to spend longer with these books you love that are adapted more richly for television. The trade-off is maybe you don't get those top-notch directors that you would get in a movie version. However, more and more lately, top-notch directors. Fincher did The House of Cards. That wasn't my favorite, but looked nice. So I'm going TV. If you could only read 5 pages per day or 5 books per week, which would you do? 5 books a week for sure. Would you rather be a professional book reviewer or a professional author? Definitely author on that one. Did not have to think about it. Although I really like doing these and talking about books. So if there's like a guy who's like, all right, you made your choice. You can only be a writer. You cannot review anything ever again. I'd probably sneak into the bathroom late at night and pretend to set up a camera, and it wouldn't even be turned on because I don't want to get in trouble. But I would pretend to do my reviews. It wouldn't have to be the bathroom. I don't know why I specified the bathroom. That was weird. I apologize. Even if I knew that I could never share it, I would still want to do some reviews. Would you rather read your top 20 books over and over again or only read new books, never reread a book? I would definitely only rather read new books. There's so many books out there. I'm not the kind of guy who rereads books very often. Although occasionally, if it was a book I read a long time ago, I might dip back into it. But for the most part, I'm all about the new books. So there we go. Would you rather be a librarian or a bookseller? I'm going to go bookseller because it seems like librarians have to do a lot of helping people find tax forms and showing grandma how to sign on to the internet, those kind of non-book related things. I understand that a bookseller does lots of non-book related things too, particularly related to retail type things, but I'm going to go with the bookseller. If you could only read your favorite genre or read everything except your favorite genre, what would you do? Would you rather do one of those? I would rather only read my favorite genre. And as a genre, I'm going to go fantasy because that's a very wide, everything's fantasy. Even like horror novels, they call dark fantasy nowadays. And anything with just like a little bit of mystical or supernatural elements gets categorized, it seems like, as some sort of subgenre of fantasy. So I'm going to go with that. Plus, if I picked anything other than that, if I saw somebody reading a fantasy, I'd just get a little pang in my heart and I'd have to look over their shoulder. Hey, how's that fantasy book going? Doing okay? And that would weird them out. So finally, if you could only read physical books or ebooks, which would you do? I would go ebooks. Look, I know not everybody loves ebooks, and that's totally okay, but I totally am a big fan of the service Oyster, which, couple caveats, I believe it's only in the United States right now, and I'm sure it's going to expand everywhere else in the near future, but I believe it's only the United States right now. I could be wrong on that. But it's $10 a month for unlimited reads. They don't have everything. It's like Netflix, right? It's like watching movies on Netflix. They're not going to have every movie you want. They're not going to have the latest movies you want. So if you go on there looking for the latest new release, you're going to be disappointed. But if you go on Netflix and you're like, I think I'd like to watch a good comedy, and you look through their comedy section, I guarantee you're going to find a comedy that you will enjoy. If you approach Oyster in that same way and aren't like, I need the new latest release by XYZ author, you could be disappointed because, first of all, it's backlist stuff, so it's stuff that's generally like a year older or older, and it's not all the big publishers. Only a couple of the big publishers are on there. I believe HarperCollins and Simon & Schuster are on there. Even with that being said, with that limitation put on it, there is so many books to read on here. Like, check out my reading list. Like, let's just scroll through here for a minute. There are, I know you can't see that very well. I'm trying to show you more so the amount of books rather than the actual books themselves. There are so many books. This is my to-read list on Oyster, and it just goes on and on and on. There you go. You saw my profile. You could friend me on there. I don't know why you friend anyone on Oyster. But anyway, there's like 70 books in my to-read list on there. It's actually more than that because whenever it's a book in a series, I only add the first book to my to-read list until I get done with the first book. So there's so many books on there to read, and with that extensive to-read list, I couldn't turn away from ebooks. Plus, I love the convenience of having a few minutes while I wait to pick up my daughter from some class or something, just being able to pull out my phone and pop into a book for a few minutes. So I'm definitely going ebooks on that one. All right, thank you so much for tagging me in this video. It's been fun. Let me know if I did okay on my first tag. That is going to be all for today. I will talk to you next time. Until then, keep reading.